He is a phenomenal storyteller. He is a host of The Moth in Philly and in DC, and he is a senior staff writer at Elle, and I'm thrilled to have him back. Please give it up for our Eric Thomas.
I get really confused. I guess I could say confused. I get really perplexed when people call me gay, like strangers. You know, like they'll be like across the street and they just yell out like "gay," you know, and it's very like perplexing to me. And I know what the purpose is. You know, it's supposed to be like a bad thing. You know, and it's like the people who don't have the balls to say faggot. And I'm like, well, you know, if you can't commit, then I don't know that you can really be a part of this situation. But it's always people, you know, at like dueling distance, you know, like Aaron Burr over there just shouting like "gay," you know, like, or like riding by on like a unicycle like "gay," or you know, popping out of the ocean like, "gay." And it's just perplexing to me because it's supposed to be a bad thing, but it's also sort of like correct. And I'm like, what's the next step in this process? You know, like, what do you need from me? If they don't need, you know, they need you to cry, or I don't know what you need. I don't know. I've never spoken to a homophobe. That's not true. I speak to them every day. But I don't know what you want from me besides feeling like I'm a piece of shit. And that was successful for a lot of my life. And it was very strange to me whenever people would shout, you know, at dueling distance, "gay" at me, because I wasn't always out to myself, because not everyone is always out to themselves. And so it felt like they had some secret knowledge about me that felt unsafe, or that they like understood something about me. And it also became very confusing to me because I was like, what am I doing that's gay? Like, I'd be walking down the street like in jeans and like a t-shirt. I dress like a dad on weekends most of the time. Like, no, not a daddy. I wish. I do wish. I don't know. I don't have the confidence for it. I'm just like a dad. I'm just dropping you off at soccer practice. But people are like, "I'm gay." And I always want to like, look at them and be like, "Ha ha, you figured it out. Congratulations." Like have a confetti cannon go off. You know, a drag queen come out with a big check, like give them a kiss right on the lips and be like, "Well, you're today's winner. Thank you very much." But it was always perplexing me. It was always this mystery of like, what are you seeing that I'm not seeing? What are you getting from me that I'm not getting? And even as I got older and I got more comfortable being gay, because, you know, I came out to myself and I came out to other people, and then I got a group of gay friends, and that is the thing that changes your life. Having queer people around you who affirm you makes you understand, I think, who you are in a better way. And so I got all these good Judies, and we were all having a great time, and I felt I learned how to like buy shorts that were like super short, and I learned the beauty of a Razorback tank top. And so I'd walk down the street and people would be like, "gay," and I'd be like, obviously. But there was always something in the back of my mind that was like, what am I doing? What am I putting out into the world? And how do I stop that? Because even though it didn't necessarily make me feel bad, it did make me feel good, which is weird because I love being gay. I love it. Being gay makes me so happy. I would not be, no offense to whomever, whatever, but I would never be straight. Like, I would never. If you're like, if Jesus was like, "Hey, you want to be straight?" I'd be like, "No, get out of here. I refuse. Get out of my house. No, put the crudité down. Get out of my house." Because if Jesus comes over, you serve him crudité. I wouldn't do it, you know? And it's not like a thing like, "oh, I'm afraid of like other people's body parts." No, it's like, I like my life. I like who I am. And this is hard won. When I was, I guess maybe 10, 11, 12, I was the only like, one of two black kids in my school. And so, you know, people didn't, you know, really know what to do with any of this. It was like very curious about my skin and my hair texture. And then I was nerdy and effeminate, and I liked theater. And then My So-Called Life came on television, and they saw Wilson Cruz playing Ricky, who was a gay, light-skinned person of color. And they looked at me, and they were like, "gay!" And I was like, this is the worst. So for a while, I had a feud going with Wilson Cruz, but we made up, so it's fine. But I always said to myself, I think the thing that is giving this away is the fact that I'm effusive and effeminate, and I like being alive, and maybe that's a problem. So I did, and I thought to myself, like, well, maybe if I just looked like a little bit more masculine, like maybe people won't call me gay from dueling distance. And so I did what anyone does when they want to be more masculine. I joined the gay softball league. it made sense at the time because, I'm not a sporty person. I've never been a sporty person. I don't even really like Sporty Spice, no offense. Like least favorite of the Spice Girls. And so I was like, well, this is the height of masculinity. So I went to Dick's and I bought myself a little glove and I was like, all right, well, what next? And then I Googled softball because I don't really know what you're supposed to do. I figured it was like baseball, and it turns out it is, except for there's a couple key differences. One, you throw underhand, and two, the balls are bigger, and three, that's what he said. And so I cinched up my little shirt, my little uniform shirt, and a little knot across my stomach, put on my shortest shorts, grabbed my lotioned up glove, and I trotted on down. And I figured a gay softball league is going to be, running lines from Damn Yankees, and a lot of pats on the bottom. And the real reason that I joined this league, I wanted to be more masculine, but I was also like, this is a great place to meet a boyfriend. Which is what I say to literally everything. You walk into Rite Aid, you're like, well, this is a great place to meet a boyfriend. Shopping for Fleet or whatever. So in any case, I show up. The issue with the City of Brotherly Love softball league is that they are very fucking serious about playing softball. They have rules, they have structure, there is a whole commission, and it's corporately gay. You can only have 2 heterosexually identified people on your team. It's I was like, what world am I in? Where you're like, we got a straight quota. No, what, bisexual? All right, come on in. But no more straights. We're good. We're like Noah's Ark of straights. So I joined this team, and they're very intense. They're like, what position do you play? And I was like, seated. And so they made me the catcher, which is great because I got, when you're a catcher, you can you're squatting, which is wonderful for the glutes, and you get to look at butts all day. And it's like you're Statler or Waldorf from the Muppet Show, so you can constantly just yell things out. So that's what I did behind home plate. I was just like, look at that thing. Ha, here's a quote from League of Their Own. Ha, ba-ba-da-ba-da. That's what he said. And apparently it got annoying. So they moved me out to right field, or to deep right field. There was already a right fielder, so I went behind him. I considered myself his understudy. And so there I sat for most of the season, prancing, cartwheeling, telling dick jokes, and constantly doubling my entendres. And it was exactly what I set out to do. I had all these new friends. They thought I was very funny. I looked super cute. I was getting a tan right across here, and from here down. Soup's perfect. Middle of the season rolls around. And they announced that they have this normal thing they do where they give, half the season they assess your skills and they assign you a score between 1 and 10 of your skill assessment. And I said to my coach, I was like, do not ever tell me what score I got because it will hurt me for the rest of my life. I figured it would just go in the vault of things people think about me, like all my Twitter mentions that I don't ever read. But the thing is, if you got below a 7, you had to go to a special Saturday practice. And shockingly, I got below a 7, which is weird because I'm a 10. And and so I had to go to summer school for playing softball. And I was like, I don't want to go hang out with all these other losers, running the wrong way around the bases, bursting into tears, all these gay dudes who don't know what they're doing. But I went because I wanted, I committed to this. I want to be like a macho man. So I was like, so I memorized my no crying in baseball speech and grabbed my glove and got out and then went out to the fields and where we played, which were called the dairy fields, apropos to this evening. What's so annoying, though, is that when I got to the field, I didn't find a whole bunch of, screaming Nancys that I was hoping for. I found a whole bunch of people who were, really working hard at getting better at softball, which is, again, not the objective of any of this. The objectives were kiss boys, 2, maybe one less person calls me gay. Who cares? Don't care at all. So I trot out to like deep right field where I usually am, and I'm like, I'm just the understudy. Just if you have vocal notes, let me know. I'll step in, but otherwise, I'm just here. They have a batting clinic, and so we line up around home plate, and there's this very kindly lesbian woman who's like giving you tips, and so I step up to the plate. The pitcher throws the ball. I tell myself, all right. Everyone's looking at you. You should like at least do this one thing. I was like, I can hit a ball. I can hit a ball. Like it's physics. And so the ball comes over the plate. I swing hard. I miss hard. I swung so hard that my leg popped up like when they kiss in the movies, and I spun around. And so the lesbian coach said to me, she was like, that swing was a little gay. You might want to butch it up. And all of a sudden, that word transformed for me. I had never been, in all my life, in all my years of walking through streets with booty shorts on, and all my time of walking through gay bars and exchanging pleasantries with all my friends, I'd never had somebody call me gay in a way that made me feel included. You can call yourself gay, you can say, I am gay, this is how I identify, but no one had ever said, what you're doing right there is gay. Not for now, good job, let's try it again. So I was like, okay, I'm listening. I'm here for this. So I was like, okay, what do you want me to do? And she was like, okay, well, first you want to grip the bass a little tighter. And I was like, okay, question. That is what he said. And then she was like, and okay, so then you want to stick your butt out. And I was like, that's what he said? And she's like, okay. And then you want to wait a second before you try and hit it. And I was like, that's what he said. She ignored me. She stepped away. She signaled to the pitcher to throw the ball again. Pitcher swung, gripped the shaft, or whatever you call the tool. I don't know. It was this direction. Fiction. Stuck my butt. This is years ago, so I don't even remember what my body felt like at that point. Stuck my butt out, waited for a second, and I connected with the ball. And I went sailing over to my usual spot in far right field, and I felt a sense of accomplishment. And I looked at the lesbian coach, and I was like, ha-ha! And she's like, what are you doing? Run! And I was like, girl, in these heels? No. I eventually got a boyfriend out of the deal. I thought about quitting the team then, but I played the rest of the season. We came in second to last place. Thank you. And the next season, I didn't go back. Because I set out what I came to do. And people from the team would message me, and they're like, well, we really miss you. You're a lot of fun. You're terrible at playing this game. But you were part of our team, and I was like, okay, blah, 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 blah. And so finally, I was having a conversation at a bar with one team member, and he was like, look, you are a force of life for us, and we need that, because we're not playing for nobody. We're playing for each other, and we're also playing to reaffirm that we are here, that we exist. And I was like, okay, that's very deep, blah, blah, blah. Season rolls around, he sends me a message. He's like, are you joining? And I was like, no, but I will come back as a cheerleader. And that is what I did. And I stood at dueling distance from the field, and I shouted affirmations at a bunch of gay guys for a whole summer. And it was the best thing I've ever done. Thank you.
Yum's the word